right. Getting that restream message, bro. What is wrong with that? Oh, wait, wrong way. What's up, babe? Dang, I gotta get this closer. Get you over here. Let's see, is that gonna work? Something like that. Q York, what's going on? Salute, salute, salute. I see y'all. Maybe a little bit lower. It's weird, I gotta turn it the opposite way because I got it on the other side. That feels unnatural. But okay, it's all good. So we got the countdown going. I'm gonna get rid of this countdown though. Don't really need it. Let's make this chat a little bit bigger. And let's move that chat to right in front of me so we can move that window out of the way. There we go. Ambrose, what's going on? Salute, salute. All right. You know what? I want to lean back. I'm going to get this mic more towards me. There we go. Greg, what's going on? Greg the Court, I see you. Salute. So let me take that countdown out. Let's go. We're going to get straight into it. The setup's a little bit different today because I was in the middle of 1,000 things. I got mics, cameras, all sorts of gear laying around. Did not have an option to twist and turn everything for this live stream. This is the Q&A, so any angle is going to work. All good. So Geo in the building, Future Agent is here. DJ KB1, appreciate that follow. Rolly in the building, AJ Funk Official is here. And those blue, this Beathound. Beathound was good. And Stefan is here. Well, yeah, ask me anything DJ related. By the way, this stream will end in about 2 hours because then we're gonna stream or we're gonna raid Cleveland Terry because he has DJ Qbert on today, and yeah, I want to go check that. So if you were planning to check out Qbert on Cleveland Terry's stream today, y'all can just stick with me and we're gonna head there. I believe he starts at 12 his time. That should be in 1 hour and 45 minutes. So I'll make sure to keep an eye on my Twitch. And as soon as he begins, we'll raid Cleveland Terry. That's for the people on Twitch, by the way. If you're watching on Facebook or if you're watching on YouTube, you can follow the raid. So for your information, or in about 2 hours, Cleveland Terry will start his stream, and he has DJ Qbert as the guest. All right, let me just start at the top real quick. DJ Indina in the building, salute. And so Stefan, no, you cannot have my S9, by the way. And F Donario is here as well. So let me just start with that top question. That's one thing I want to do. Let's try to keep up as far as I can. So the first question is from Ambrose, and the question is how to get linked with festivals and corporate events. By the way, I need to get that camera up a little bit. This is a little bit too low for me. Hold up. Gonna make it super official. Some real gear. Let's see. Yep, okay. That's better. Just that little bit of elevation, that feels a little more natural to me. Even though you can't see my Vader anymore now. So I have to give my little Vader some props there. Got my T right there. Okay, so the first question is how to get linked with festivals and corporate events. How to get linked. Well, I don't know if there's like a real linked way to get linked. Like, it's all about networking, I would have to say. So first off, you probably should find people who are in that scene. So certain DJs only do clubs. Some DJs also do clubs and festivals. And then you have DJs who do corporate events. You have DJs who do everything. But you need to find either DJs who work within that sector, or if there's certain booking agencies that book for corporate events, and really just network. Like, you have to connect with people to make that work. I mean, I'm not really familiar with the corporate events. I've done corporate events. In my case, the corporate events just came my way because someone saw me DJ somewhere, or someone referred to me. So referrals always work. And sometimes that wasn't even because someone else saw me at a corporate event, but just because people were talking, they needed a DJ for a corporate event. And one of the people knew me. So just notoriety as a DJ can be the thing that makes it happen. But I mean, I'm not an expert to get gigs like that. Now, when it comes to festivals, it depends. I mean, like, bigger festivals mostly look for bigger names. So, I mean, I don't know. So, Ambrose, how far are you in your DJ career? Are you already doing gigs? Are you doing club gigs and stuff like that? Let me know that in the chat, because that is important. If you currently are in your beginning stage, then festivals are not going to be that easy to get. Same thing with corporate events. So let me know what you're doing currently. Let's see. All right, here we go. This question comes by probably every week. What is a good way to organize music and crates in Serato? It's such a personal thing. And I say this all the time. Like, some people are really meticulous with it, and they'll sort by genre. Or no, let me put it like this. They'll sort by year. So they'll have a folder, a list for every year. In that folder, they'll have a list for different genres. Within those folders, they'll have either subgenres, or they go straight to folders with like BPM. Like, some people take it all the way. Some people have like basically one folder per genre. I like to divide it a little bit more. I mean, hip hop is my main thing. So if I would have one hip hop folder, and that would contain all of the hip hop that I like to play, it's a lot. When I know it's better for me to divide it a little bit. What I did now, I don't know if I'll continue to do that. For a long time, I had a folder that covered like a decade. So I had like a folder that was like 80 to 89. I had a 90 to 99, 2000 to 2009. And I didn't even make a 2010 to 19. But that divides it a little bit. I think the most important tip I can give now is just add more information to your tracks. So what I'm currently doing is like tagging your tracks. I'm using Rekordbox for that, but of course you can also do that in Serato. So for instance, in your comments, you could add actual hashtags, because then if you create smart playlists for a certain event, you can add like one of those hashtags if you need a certain type of music for that gig. So you can add to a smart playlist, you could add genre, a certain BPM range. And then if you have hashtags that can give you a better idea of what kind of music it is, that could be based on anything, on the energy level, on the type of vibe, if it's a warm-up track, if it's a peak time track, whatever. But I think more information, that's at least the thing I'm going to do now, because I don't want to have 1,000 folders. I'd rather have enough information so that if I want to make a specific folder, I know how to search for the music. What are your thoughts on new hip hop in comparison to old school hip hop for DJs? So, Indina, the funny thing is here, what would you define as old school hip hop? Because that already is a topic right there. It's really, okay, so I'm on the fisheye level. So if I do this, we get that Busta Rhymes effect. So let me keep my hands a little bit more here. For some people, old school hip hop is hip hop from like 2008 and 9. For others, it's going to be like 90s hip hop. I'm talking hip hop now, but like 90s. For some, it's even earlier. Like if they think of old school, they're thinking of like that first era, like late 70s until like the 80s. Um, Now, that being said, I think I understand what you're talking about. Like, if you look at new hip hop music, like the current hip hop, not all, but a ton of it has a different vibe to it, different feel. You can see that in the BPM, for instance. The tempo has changed quite a bit. So that adds a little bit of a different vibe to it. I think there's a lot of dope music still coming out. Even though if it is in the new tempo, new flavor, I do find it harder to mix it with older hip hop. If you take like 90s hip hop, 2000 hip hop, it had a certain vibe to it, certain drum pattern, certain tempo. That's a little bit different now. But yeah, I mean, I don't really like when people say like there's no good hip hop, like new stuff's not good. When there's plenty of new stuff coming out, that's good, but you have to make an attempt to look for it. And you even have artists that have been around and that are still dropping dope stuff. So, I mean, my favorite era would be the quote unquote golden era, like mid 80s up until like mid late 90s. But I like stuff after that as well. Plenty. My library fell apart over the pandemic and had to redo everything from scratch. I usually rely on a lot of my history. Any tips for how to organize a library to keep the go-to stuff easy to find? So in my case, normally I would always have my crates or playlists, depending on what software you use. It has different names, but normally I have that as actual folders on my computer. So even if like all the software gets deleted or whatever, I have those folders. So I could go to a new computer, install software, and then I can import those folders. And those are my crates, my playlists. Now I'm going to redo everything as well. But that for me has always been the safe way. So I never just imported music into software and then started to make like playlists there. I just went for the actual folders. Now, what I'm doing now, and I'm using Rekordbox for that, is like adding a lot of information to songs. But before I get to that point, I'm actually going through like a lot of music. I have so much music on hard drives that I haven't even looked at anymore. And I had a lot of folders that I need to sort out. But those folders grew over the years. So I recently, like last week or a couple of days ago, I grabbed all of the music from all of those different folders that I still had to sort and go through, put it together. That turned into, I think, 130 gigs of music. That's not my collection. My collection is more than that. But this is like more music. I'm going to sort that, go through it, delete everything I don't need. So the first thing I did is I sorted that entire thing by bitrate, got rid of everything below 192, get that out of there. And now I have to go through the process of actually checking songs because I downloaded so much over the years from DJ pools. And a lot of times you would just go on a download frenzy, downloading anything that even seemed like it could be cool. And then it just fills up space. A lot of this stuff I never played. So going to get rid of a lot of that. And then I'm going to start to actually tag all the music and give it as much information as I can because I didn't think that was important, but I think that's going to be the way for me to find my music. Adding that energy to it or rating, giving it like a description, what it could be for. So what type of mood it could be for, all of that. Because I really feel I want to have crates that are on point. My live streams up until now, my mixed live streams, I've enjoyed them. They're cool. I know they could be like 100 times better if my music was sorted better. I just know that. So it is a goal for me. DJ K1 says, get DJ controller. I don't know if that's for me or what that's for, but okay. Okay, Ambrose, you're 30 years in, so you're doing gigs and everything, mostly clubs. Got you. All right. I would have to say like networking. It would have to come down to networking. And if you've been playing for 30 years, I would assume you already know plenty of DJs. So do you know DJs that play in that circuit? Do you know DJs that play a lot of festivals? Do you know DJs who do a lot of corporate gigs? If so, See if you can find out how. Like corporate gigs, a lot of times can also go through agencies. Like a lot of times, the corporate gigs, corporations don't like have direct access to DJs or don't take the time. Or they'll find like some type of agency to take care of that. Like a lot of times, they'll have more entertainment, so they'll hire an agency to get like DJs and acts. So you need to start doing the due diligence, finding out what is what, and if you know DJs. Hopefully you have DJs in there that can help you out, because certain circuits are not something you can just get into. Same thing if you want to start doing workshops. I know DJs that do workshops all over the country here, either for like corporate gigs or for schools. And that's not something you can decide from one day to the next to start doing, because a lot of times that is already a circuit and you need to get into that circuit. So probably a DJ would have to refer you or introduce you in some cases, not all cases. You could, of course, go out and approach a lot of schools for workshops. Now, I don't know if it's a plan to like approach businesses to see if they have an event coming up. I don't think that's a thing, but check with the DJs you know first. John says, what is Q drift? Well, to the best of my knowledge, if you're looking at DJ software, I can't show it. I don't have anything on right now. But a lot of times in your DJ software, you can set a cue point. You can trigger that cue point. And let's say that in your software, you can see that the stickers to the top. Your cue point is here. And then it starts to move. You're scratching with it. You let it go. And then when you bring it back, all of a sudden your cue point is not exactly there, but it moved a bit. So somehow it's not tight. Normally what should happen, even on your screen, if the cue point is here, you play the track, it moves forward, you bring it back, and it's there again. Let it go, you bring it back. It's going to be in the exact same place every time. With cue drift, if you let it go and you bring it back, now all of a sudden the cue point is not there, but it's a little bit more to the back or a little bit more to the front, but it moves. A lot of people had those issues with phase in the beginning. I believe most DJs don't have it anymore now. I've experienced that like once or twice, once with a controller, and that was like weird to me because I wasn't used to it. And like I would bring it back and I could just notice like, wait a minute, last time I could bring it back to here, now I have to bring it back further, so the cue point moved. That's how I would explain cue drift. Future Agent says, same question, but on vinyl. Wait, what? Same question as who? Same question as who? Q York, let me know. Oh, sorry. Okay, so same question, like organizing your vinyl, I guess, because your question was about organizing your Serato crates, right? Wow. Okay, so currently with my vinyl, it's only sorted by genre and alphabetically. That's what I have now. So I have my hip hop separate, I have my R&B separate, and I have my dancehall separate, party break separate, compilation records separate, and then I have like a bunch of like whatever from soul, funk, rock, pop together. That's not sorted alphabetically. The dancehall isn't either. I still have to do that, but the hip hop and R&B are sorted alphabetically, so I can actually find some stuff. In the past, I used to also separate my albums in 12 inches. I haven't done that now. Then I also know people who will check out the BPM for all of their songs on vinyl, write it on the sleeves, and also sort it that way. So there's a couple of options there, but it's going to take work. Then you have to like find the BPM for all your vinyl. Is it worth it to download multiple versions of a track, like a cappella and instrumental or clean versions, especially with the newer release music? I can't answer that for you. So if you never do anything like make live mashups where you need an a cappella and the instrumental from a different song to make your own new like remix mashup, if you never do that, then you don't need a cappellas. If you never in your set need some music without vocals to either host or do some scratching, then you probably don't need instrumentals. If you don't play in places where clean versions are needed, so for instance, in certain countries, if you do radio, you'll have to have censored versions. In some countries, you don't. So that all depends on your situation. I know some DJs who always need the clean versions. I know I always download the instrumentals. I know I hardly download acapellas because I'm not really into making the mashups, but I love instrumentals. So that depends on if it's worth it. Like I would say only download it if you're going to use it. Otherwise it just takes up space. Rob Sway is in the building. Salute. And we got DJ Twice as Nice. See, I'm getting the hang of this. I almost wanted to start to say 2 Ice and then 2 Ice AZ. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. I see this one. Like I've butchered some names while streaming. Dre Markeith in the building on Facebook. Salute to you. DJ Gringo is here. Any age limit to DJ? No, definitely not. You can start at any age, so young or really old. I would say if you are older and you want to make this an actual career where you're not just DJing at home, having fun, using it as a pastime, but you want to actually do gigs, you can do it at a later age, but just keep in mind it will be a lot more difficult. It's more tasking on the body, on the mind, on everything. Like I currently would not look forward to having a weekend of 3 full nights of DJing. I know on Monday I'm still feeling that now. I didn't have that when I was younger. Now I would need Monday to recover when I don't really have Monday to recover because I have work to do. Kids need to go to school, you name it. If you're even older than I am, if you're like a generation older, that's going to be pretty heavy if you haven't lived that nightlife that way before and you need to start doing that. I'm not saying it can't be done, but that is a thing to keep in mind. But if you just want to start DJing, have fun, maybe every once in a while you play the family barbecue or even a local bar every now and then, that can be done at any age. So I would say no. Corruption, salute. Rolly says, do you think YouTube and or music industry will eventually develop an opportunity space for DJs to capitalize on what we do? I mean, we basically have that in Mixcloud. So would YouTube do that? I don't know. Like Mixcloud went the route. They have the deals with all the labels. So as DJs, we can stream on Mixcloud and you won't have any copyright issues. They even set it up in the way that the artist and the DJ who's streaming can both monetize from that stream. Now, will you earn anything with that? You probably have to do crazy numbers, but that is the first official like legal solution for everyone. I mean, we know some DJs get some sort of preferred treatment on platforms, but most don't. But on Mixcloud, they basically did that. They have that deal with the music industry. But I don't know if YouTube would go that far, if it's interesting enough for them to do that, because that will cost money. DJ Bling is here. Salute to you. Gus Gomez in the building. Salute, fam. I see you. Twice as Nice as DJs have to adapt to tempo and music genres, new as well. Well, you don't have to. I mean, that's the thing. You don't have to do anything, but know that your choices will have certain consequences. So, for instance, if you feel like, nah, I'm not feeling any new music, I only want to play this genre from that era, you can do that. But yes, most likely that will cost you a lot of gigs. If you want to be able to do as many gigs as possible, you'll probably have to play as much as possible, but that's not for everyone. So the option is always there. As a DJ, you can choose what kind of DJ you want to be and what feels right for you. Some DJs feel fine playing everything, and other DJs decide that, hey, that's not for me. I'll do this and this and that, but not that. That's up to you. Sven is in the building. Salute to you. Guten Abend. DJ Gringo, I'm reading the questions in my Restream chat app. So I'm streaming to Facebook and to YouTube right now and Twitch. I actually didn't turn Twitter on. I can still do that, but I can see all of the chat together in that one app. So that's the easiest part for me right now. Because I'm using Restream to stream to all of the different platforms. Dave Baru, salute. Yeah, tagging, indeed. So that's it for me right now too, 100%. We got the Data Dwarf here. Salute to you for the follow. Who's here? Infinity is here. I just wanted to say how much fun Mary Jane from Rick James is to listen to. I agree. Data Dwarf, I appreciate that subscription. Much love, much love. And James Salter, what up? I see you. Nash has a question. Do you like DJ Screw? I have to say I never really got into it. It's a sound that never really made its way here to the Netherlands that much. The whole screwed up thing. So I have to say I never really got into it. DJ Abi, what's up? What's up? My take on the VL12 turntable. Would you recommend them or the legendary Technics SL1200? The VL12 is a turntable that I really like and I use it often. So I could definitely recommend them. Now, the Technics SL1200, of course, it's a classic. If you're talking about an earlier version, like a Mark II or something like that, chances are you're only going to find that secondhand and you don't know how old it is, how much it's been used. And what I always say, what bothered me compared to a VL12 is with the SL1200, all the cables are built into the turntable. So your power cable and RCA ground wire are all just built into the turntable, so you can't detach them. So if anything happens to a cable, you'll have to get your turntable fixed. With a lot of the newer turntables, like my VL12s, the power cable is detachable, the RCA is detachable. So if anything happens to the cables, I can just switch them out. I love the look. They feel great. Still love my SLs as well, but like the ones I have, they're not 100% anymore. I've had them fixed once. I mean, I had that pair for, wow, how long do I have them? I don't know, 26 years or something. I'll have to get them looked at again because that will happen. They're older. They've been through a lot. But I love my VL12s. Love them. What would be your views on quitting a stable job, day job, and going full-time into DJing for someone in his mid-30s? I don't know. That depends on your situation. I mean, especially right now in the current era, that question is pretty crazy. Like, I doubt that there's many DJs out there or people who have a quote-unquote normal day job and currently have enough DJ gigs to actually get a full income from that. But that's what it all depends on, of course. Like if you currently get your income from a day job and you're in your mid-30s, chances are you're in a family situation. You will have steady bills that need to be paid, you name it. If you see that the DJing you're doing, that the jobs are coming in and it's enough to sustain a steady income, then that could be the thing you choose to do. But it is never as stable as a stable day job. It just isn't. I mean, I've seen it. My career has been like this. It's like a wave. It's going up and down. And that's the thing. Like the important word right there is stable. Your day job is stable. It's safe. And for some, especially if that's what you lived until your mid-30s, it might be pretty crazy to make that switch then. But for some of you, you might feel that fire inside like, yo, I've been working this day job. I dread going to my work. Can't wait for the weekend until my job is done. This DJ thing is really working. The money is starting to come in. I can understand that for some people that switch might become an option. But right now in this current day and age, until things really open up and everything gets going again, I think right now is not the time for people to think about making that switch. Data Dwarf, what's good? You're pure vinyl for a long time now, and you're looking to upgrade and go somewhat digital. What do you think about phase? I was really interested, but the initial hype about this technology really died down. Ooh, I don't think it died down. I really don't think it died down. I mean, to me, it's the biggest game changer in DJing in the last at least 10 years. I absolutely love phase, and it's a great solution for someone who has a vinyl collection. So, for instance, yes, you can see it probably. I have a Rain 12 there, great controller, but you can't play vinyl on it. So, if you have a vinyl collection, phase is just lovely. Now, I know DJs have had issues with it, and I haven't, and I know plenty of DJs who haven't. And since the updates and updates and updates, because they've updated a lot less DJs have seen or are having issues. So for me, it's a great way to go. Now, I don't know what kind of mixer you have. You will need to have a mixer or an audio interface that is compatible with DJ software. So the controllers are not enough, but I love phase, and I know a lot of DJs who will definitely stick to phase now. Dave, yes, I see your question. That's why I shouted you out. I can see YouTube, I can see Twitch, I can see Facebook, and I'm watching in my Restream chat app. All right, James Alter, cool. Q-York says, do you think a DJ can be successful with just live streaming, no actual gigs? It's possible. It's possible, but it's going to be a lot of work. But let's define success. Is success having a good amount of viewers that tune into every live stream, that you have great interaction and you're having a great time? Or are we talking success that this is like your income? So making an income just of live streaming, because that's an important difference, because some people will swap success and income. And to me, that's not the same thing. So success in life is not money. But if we're talking monetary, I see DJs who bring in money while they're streaming, either through the support they get in their streams, because they're getting like a lot of bits, a lot of cheers, a lot of subscriptions. But those DJs a lot of times have a pretty large audience, and they're streaming like basically every day, hours on. So it's like a full-time job. They're doing this like 4, 5, 6 hours every day to build an audience and to maintain, to get like an income. Oh, before I forget, I'll repeat this a couple of times for the people who came in later, especially for the people on Twitch. In about an hour and 15 minutes, we're going to raid Cleveland Terry, because Cleveland Terry has the legendary Qbert on today, and I want to check that out. So he starts 12 o'clock his time in LA. That's 9 here. It's now 7:45. So yeah, in like an hour and 15 minutes, we're going to raid Cleveland Terry to check out Qbert. And when it comes to streaming, like that is one way to get like an income through, if we're talking about Twitch, cheers, subscriptions, you name it. There could also be a situation where you're charging people to watch you stream, but then you're going to have to build an audience that is willing to actually pay to watch you stream, which can be done, but it's difficult if you don't have a fan base. It's going to take a long time to build a fan base that is loyal to the point that they'll pay to watch you. DJ G757, what kind of studio monitors would you recommend for in-home practicing for DJing? Well, not particularly studio monitors. You probably want some monitors. Well, in-home, look, I could recommend like not by name, but to go for like a powerful speaker with a lot of bass and whatever. If you're in a house, your neighbors will probably not appreciate that. You probably want something that has enough power so you have nice sound. You might want some bass in there. A lot of people will go for the KRK, the Rocket. I think it's the 5 or 7. There's a lot of monitors that will get the job done for you, though. So in the chat, if you have like your home setup, what kind of speakers are you currently using to DJ? Let us know in the chat. Drop that in the chat right now. Cy or CB says, your goal is to clean up your crates of thousands of tunes, right? How often do you do this? How long is it going to take? It's probably going to take forever. No, it's going to take a long time. Currently, I try to sit down every day and go through tracks, but it's going to take time for real. Got to get that tea in before it's absolutely cold. So that, I mean, I'm well aware of that. I've been setting this. I've been pushing this forward like for a long time because I know it's going to take time, but I just feel like, hey, I need my crates to be up to par, on point. So I really need to start doing that, but I don't have a lot of time to do that. So whenever I can, I just need to open that folder, listen to a bunch of tracks so I can delete or keep and take it from there. Gavin Fields, salute to you on YouTube. How do you move from genre to genre and keep a fire party? Read your crowd first off. Reading the crowd, knowing what the crowd likes and wants. So for instance, if I'm playing at a party with multiple genres, a lot of times that's going to be something like hip hop, R&B, dancehall, and I can maybe switch, maybe do some UK garage, you name it. Those genres are pretty easy to match, to make work together. Like hip hop, R&B, and dancehall, that's like easy. Same type of vibe. Like most of the times you'll have a crowd that will like all of those genres. That's gonna work. But you have to read it and check it. So I'll try a track in a different genre. So for instance, I might be playing hip hop and R&B, throw on a dancehall track, or I'll throw on something that has a dancehall vibe, like maybe an R&B track, but it has like dancehall production in it. And I can read the crowd to see their reaction. If I can see that, like, especially the ladies start to like add moves, they start to move more, like, okay, this is the vibe we on. We like this. Then I know, okay, I can take it there. I've had parties where I start playing some dancehall and you can just tell, like, the crowd is like, okay, where's the hip hop? And then, you know, like, okay, we'll leave that genre out. So I really go just by reading the crowd. Now, if we're talking totally different genres, if we're taking it from hip hop to, like I said, UK garage, then we're talking like a big BPM difference. I might work my way up to a BPM close to that, then switch, or I'll just totally break it down, stop it, echo effect, you name it, host it, then throw in a new genre and rock with them with that genre for a while. And when I take it back, if we're talking like a high BPM, if I'm in that UK garage range and I'm like 125 going to like 130, I'll find like maybe a hip hop track that is like 65. That's half of that 130. Mix it in to take it back to hip hop. I mean, there's plenty of ways to go about it. Just make sure when you switch genres and it's a bigger BPM switch or like a bigger genre change, that you start with a track that they know. So you get that initial reaction and they'll accept the switch better. Of course, beat down. That will always happen. You're at work, and anytime you're not expecting it, it will get busy. I know. Oh, Dave, that's dope. That's dope. The drill helped. Nice. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it will take like a video or someone telling it in a certain way that makes it click and makes it work. So glad to see that helped out. What do I need to know about the DDJ SB3 CD turntable? Well, first off, it's none of those. Like the SB3 is an entry level controller by Pioneer for Serato. So you can't put a CD in there. I would not call it a turntable. What do you need to know? It's a controller that can control your Serato DJ software for you. It's an entry-level controller, meaning it's a more basic controller. It's very small. It has limited features, but it's for a beginner, it's perfectly fine. Neil Geo, thoughts on the Denon SC 6000. I honestly haven't tried them. I have the 5000. I really like the 5000. Feature-wise, I like them a lot. feeling wise, so jog wheel wise, to my taste, they're not as great as the CDJ jog wheels, but that's a personal thing. Feature wise, they're like incredible. You have a ton of features on them, but I've only tried the 5, not the 6. Let's see. Your personal opinion on the V10. Is there anything interesting there for your DJing style? V10, the big Pioneer, right? I still haven't tried that. It's not really for me though. Or am I crazy? It's the big boy, right? Yeah. For my style of DJing, it's actually not that interesting. I mean, it's the 6 channels. I don't even use 4. So 6 is not something I would really need. So I think for some DJs, this could be a great option. For me, it's just not something that interesting. What's the price on that bad boy again? Is there a price here? Okay, 3,000 and up, right? Holy, 3,500. Yeah, nah, nah. So I just don't think it's not really for me. But I haven't tried it. If it's in a club, if I'm in a situation where they have that, I'll probably have some fun with it. But yeah, that's it. DJ KB1 says, I'm a beginner DJ. What would be a good controller for me? Like, you have a ton of entry-level controllers that will probably work great for you. You don't need something with too many bells and whistles. If you're just starting out, you need to focus on the basics. Anything like a DDJ400 from Pioneer and comparable controllers from brands like Newmark will take you all the way there. Or the I don't know if that's in the same price range though. Like the Hercules, the what's it called? The Impulse 500, I think that has quite a few features for something like that. But like, you can't really go wrong with something like a DDJ400. Just look at best entry level controllers. That's what you need to do. But like a lot of the brands like Pioneer and Newmark will have great entry level controllers. James Salter says, my music is how to master my music. In what way? In what way? Are we talking about just knowing your own collection, or are you talking about actually producing your own music and mastering it? So that's important. Let me know what you mean there. We got DJ Herman. Salute to you. Oh, by the way, as normal, I tried, but I'm still 20 minutes behind. So I'm catching up on questions. I'm right now at questions that were dropped at like 7:35, and it's 7:55 right now. Sven has a question here. I'm programming my own tool for tagging my MP3 collection. It adds all my attributes for genre, playtime, like warm-up, prime time, cooldown, in an encoded way to the comment tag. This way, you can create smart crates based on the comment tag. Yeah. I would like to show you when it's finished. For sure. So like, I'm going to use Rekordbox, but Rekordbox has more options to tag compared to Serato, for instance. And I said it earlier in this stream, like in Serato, you could add hashtags to the comment. That could hold more hashtags, and then you can still use that to make your own smart playlist, indeed. So yeah, Gus Gomez says clean versions are also helpful if you play where there might be kids. 100%. Like here, we didn't have the censorship, so you didn't have to have clean versions for radio. But at a certain point, when I got older and I did events at my oldest son's school, when he was like 4, 5, and you were DJing for kids ages 4 to 12, I just noticed, like, I felt uncomfortable when I had a track on and it was a dirty version and you're playing that for the kids. Parents are around as well. I'm like, nah, doesn't feel right. I need clean versions for this. I did, like, a lot of the music I played didn't really have that language in it anyway, so that was cool. But with some of the tracks that did have it, I actually just censored while playing. I just did like little EQ tricks or anything to make sure that certain words weren't in there. So that is something where you can definitely use your clean versions. Ryan wants to know, when is it good to DJ your first wedding? I don't know. I don't know what's a good answer for that. I mean, of course, you want to be at a point that you know how to DJ. That will be important. And do research on how weddings work, because a wedding gig is totally different than doing a club gig or a bar gig. There's more that comes into play. There's more you have to know, more you have to do most of the times. But beyond that, I don't know what would be a good time for your first wedding gig. Just know it's a different animal compared to doing a club gig. Future Agent says, how do you find time to get familiar with new music? Great question. Like, for some of us, it's easy. Some of us have the option to just play music all day, and then you can just have a playlist with like new tracks, have that on repeat, play it. I don't have that time, so I feel you 100,000% with this question, because that's my problem sometimes. I'll have enough time to look for tracks on BeatSource that I want to play for next stream. But then in an ideal situation, I would actually want to listen to all of those tracks like 3, 4, or 5 times so that you're really familiar with the tracks. And it's hard enough to find that time, let alone just have the time to really explore a lot of new music and not just hear it for a second, but listen to it. And if it's a dope track, listen to it a couple of times. But yeah, you're going to have to find time to put that in like whenever you can. So I don't know, whenever you have some chores you have to do, if you're cooking or if you're doing something else, make sure you play tracks during that time to get more familiar with the tracks. But yeah, that's something I have a hard time dealing with right now. Naturally Missy says, I'm a beginner DJ. I use the DDJ SX2. Okay, I wouldn't even consider that like a beginner. That's already, I mean, that's more than an entry-level controller. It's dope, but it's compared to the let's say the DJM400, DDJ400. An SX2 is already bigger, and it comes with more features. Don't know how much it is price point. Why is it on images? Are they still selling that, by the way? I don't see a price for it. Or are they still selling that? I don't even know if they're still selling that new. No. Or at least the stores I'm seeing aren't even offering it new right now. Because that's definitely an older one. DJ Waves in the building. Salute. Was good. Indina says, for a new streamer, how severe are copyright issues in Twitch? Do we need a license to play music? The thing is, you can stream on Twitch. You won't have an issue with copyrights during your stream. After your stream is done, that's when you see if there's a copyright issue. But not to the point that I've ever received a warning, for instance. It's just that they mute every song that's copyrighted. Meaning that in my case, if I check a replay on Twitch, 85 to 90% of that stream is muted. So during my live stream, no issue. I don't think DJs have issues during the live stream. The replay is a no-go, and I just delete that to not have it on my channel anymore. But it's not like you can just get a license to play it there, but you won't have an issue during your live stream. Garen Field says, your opinion on doing a party with multiple genres, like blues and rap. I mean, parties with multiple genres are nothing new. That's been happening forever, and it's still a thing. You have parties where you'll hear like a bunch of different genres. Like blues and rap together, I don't know. I don't know if blues is really something you play at parties. But it depends on what kind of crowd you pull, though. Like if you have like just a generic crowd that is down to hear all sorts of hits from all sorts of genres, then you can play a lot of stuff. If it's marketed in a certain way where people know they're going to expect like a certain amount of genres, but they know that it's pretty wide, a wide variety of genres, that works. It can be great. I've had parties where I was playing hip hop, R&B, dancehall, New Jack Swing, UK Garage, some other house, and I could even take it back and play pop tracks if I wanted to, add some ska to it, reggae tracks, like anything would go. And I would just feel out the crowd like, okay, I think they're really feeling whatever I'm playing, so let's go in every direction, which can be a lot of fun. Loco Lopez in the building as well. Salute to you. And this is like 20 minutes ago. The Twitch stream is down. Well, as far as I can see, the Twitch stream is not down. I'm seeing the Twitch stream, and after your comment, I still see a lot of people on Twitch. So, I don't know. That's probably just a connection issue. Maybe on your end. I don't know. AMW DJ, salute to you. And let's see. Okay, KB1 says how to use a DJ controller. And then I see a reply that says, is that a real question? Yes, it is a real question. Well, that is not something I can answer here. But you use a controller to control DJ software. So it allows you to control all the features in DJ software. And DJ software is made to mix music. So just look up any tutorial online for instance, one of the DJ controllers I just mentioned, and you'll see exactly what you can do with it. But like any type of controller, MIDI controller is just a device. I almost want to call it like an empty shell, which is just used to control your software. I mean, the same thing applies to like my machine, my Mark I that I have here. This looks like it's like a beat machine, but there's no sounds in here at all. This just triggers everything in my machine software. So that's a controller as well. But yeah, like to explain how a controller works, that makes more sense to see in an actual tutorial where you can see someone showing you how it works in a video. What's your best mid-range controller that has the best crossfader to scratch on? I think what a lot of people would do or would advise in a situation like this is look for a controller that has the features you really like and need, and see if it's compatible with an innovator, and just buy an innovator and put that in there. That's what I've seen a lot of DJs do when they had like a controller that was pretty dope. The crossfader was just not as great as it could be, and they just got themselves an innovator and put that in that controller, and then they had a great crossfader in the controller. Innovator works with a lot of controllers. I think they have a couple of different ones, and I think on their site they state which controllers are compatible. I think that's the best option, because when it comes to mid-range controllers, I mean, some have okay crossfaders, but it's never going to be great. It's going to be okay. So I think the better option is just to get a better crossfader for a controller, and just pick the controller that has the features you need. What is something about you as a DJ that surprises most people? Wow. I don't know. I mean, I like the question, but I have no clue. I mean, I can't really recall anything that people would come up to me to tell me like, whoa, I really thought this, but that. So I don't know. If we're talking online, I think what surprises most people, even though I've mentioned it 1,000 times in videos, is that I'm from Amsterdam. That is one thing that will come up a lot of times. Like, wait, you're from the Netherlands? Or they'll ask me like, wait, so when did you move there? I'm like, nah, I'm born and raised. I'm Dutch. This is where I'm from. Even though that has nothing to do with DJing. But as a DJ, I don't know. JRB Smooth, salute to you. I appreciate that follow. Larios is here. What's good? What's good? How can I change the acrylic to vinyl? On which one? Did I miss your last part? Oh, wait. Sorry, got you. Somehow that that popped up later. So you're talking about the SE6000. Finally got it. I will eat rice and beans like 1 year, but wow. Oh, you got the M, right? You got the M. I can't stop playing with Beatport Link. Yep. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't have the 6. I also have an M, but the 5000, and I love it. I mean, it's like a little like one part of an NS7. The jog, it feels great. But you want to change it. I mean, I think that's possible, right? I think you just have to. I haven't checked actually with this one. I think you can detach the top part and just add vinyl to it. I'm trying to see where mine is. If it's in, yeah, it's in reach. I mean, I can look on the 5000, but I don't know if the mechanism is exact. I'll grab it in a sec. I don't know if the mechanism is exactly the same as the 6000, but I'll grab it in a sec. What controller do you like best? If we're talking controllers with just jog wheels, so non-moving platters, I would probably still say the DDJ1000. And if we're talking motorized platters, for me still now it's the NS7 Mark III, but that's because I haven't used the Rain 1. Otherwise, probably it will be the Rain 1. If we're talking about all-in-one controllers, if I can add the Rain 12, I mean, that is a controller, then I would prefer the Rain 12 just because of the size. But that's just, I mean, that's not a full all-in-one controller. Most used effects, for me, super simple. Echo and the high-pass filter. I'm so basic. I'm so basic when it comes to effects. Rob Sway, I see you. Yeah, Ambrose, the upgrade with phase is great. I love it too. I love it too. I've done my last. Now I've used the Rain 12s for my last 2 streams, but I think the 3 or 4 streams before that were all phase, except for the all vinyl stream, of course, and they were all phase with just the no RCA setup. Love it. I mean, it's super. Like, you have to connect almost nothing, and it works great. Depending on the computer. My old laptop couldn't handle it. My studio computer can handle it just fine. Art of PHN is here. Salute to you. And the question is, any tips on practicing the record hand, specifically on control and syncing the hands together? Practice makes perfect, but are there any targeted exercises? I'm pretty sure there are. I just can't really name them. I have a pretty good hand coordination from drumming. But for me, it was just all about practicing. I never had like a special a practice regimen or routine to practice something like that. But yeah, you have to put in the hours to make that become easier. Like, I still have to do a lot of practice with certain scratches on certain sides. Like, something will work here, but it doesn't really work there, and vice versa. Some things I can do here, but I can't do here. And I know I just have to put the practice in, but I haven't found any special methods. So I think I have to connect with DJ Shorty and ask her, because she's like the expert when it comes to the practice regiment. What was the name of the Rain alternative for vinyl? The Rain 12. Rain 12. That at least has a full 12-inch motorized platter on it. Ernest was good. DJ Easy. Oh, Easy does it. Salute. Navi or Navy? My instinct says Navi, but I don't know if that is what it is. Salute to you. Do you have any synthesizers? No. I mean, I have a MIDI keyboard. Some people will call like a keyboard a synthesizer, but that's not a synth. It's just a MIDI controller as well. So no. Skojo, what up? And Garen says, how are you handling jumping from genre to genre and keeping a good party? Wait, you already asked that. I already talked about that, right? Yeah. Okay, there we got some speakers coming in. So I hope that helps the person out. See, anyone have any idea how to produce music with actual GB, GBC, or GBA? Bought a cartridge for run ROMs. I would like to find more information. Wait, that's beyond me right now. The GB and the GBC, GBA. What am I missing? Fill me in, Guillermo. What do you think about all the digital DJing? What do I think about it? Okay, so you say no CD players. So if we're talking all digital, then we're talking about using DJ software, right? So I mean that's what I do all the time. So I absolutely love it. I use DJ software in all sorts of ways. So with turntables and control vinyl, with turntables and phase, with controllers, for instance, like the setup I'm using with the Rain 12 and the Rain 72, or with other controllers. I mean, I love it. I mean, my favorite setup is still turntables because I just love the feeling, but I'm playing digitally. I'm using them with DJ software. So for me, it works great. I mean, it's fun to jump on all vinyl and do the vinyl things once a month. But I wouldn't want to do that every time. I'm really loving just using my DJ software. Juju Jones says, when a DJ says you cut the songs too quick, what do they mean? They probably mean that you're switching songs too fast. DJs sometimes now have the tendency to play songs for a very short time and then move on to the next track. Now, what we used to do, I used to play songs like a little bit longer during the warm-up. During peak time, I would play songs. I would switch songs faster. So a lot of times during my peak, I would play tracks for one chorus, one verse, and in the next chorus, I'm doing my transition. I would always read the crowd and make sure, like if I see that the crowd is really, really feeling a track, I'll leave it on a little bit longer. But now I see DJs sometimes, they throw in a track, they're playing it for 20 seconds, get that initial hype reaction from the crowd, and then they move right on to the next track. That is like cutting songs too quick. So you're ending the song to move on to the next song too quick. Thoughts on turntablism? Is that a question for me, for real? I mean, if it is, I love it. I mean, let me mention it again, even though you're on YouTube, so it doesn't really apply to you. But for my people on Twitch, in 45 minutes, I'm ending this stream and we're rating Cleveland Terry because he has DJ Qbert on today on the topic of turntablism. I mean, to me, turntablism is something my DJing started learning how to DJ, how to mix, and at the same time learning how to scratch. And just turntablism is what basically pulled me into DJing. I love it. I love incorporating turntablism into my club sets. So I don't do like full routines, but I want to make sure I'm adding my backspinning and my scratching, sometimes maybe a little juggle to my DJing, because to me, that's just, I love playing with music that way. So using your turntable as an actual instrument to me is a lovely thing. That's what really made me fall in love with the whole DJing thing even more. So I love turntablism. DJ Pooley says, I have the KRK Rocket 8, but I didn't know they were that big. Yeah, the 8s are big, right? I think I've seen those before. Like the 5 are more mid-size, the 7 are already quite bigger, but the 8 is a lot bigger. I'll look it up. Quenta 1, I've been following you since high school when I had my DJ dreams. Are you a producer? I also produce. I mean, I'm a DJ who also produces from time to time. Like I make beats, and sometimes I also produce. And thanks for the follow. Wow, what is the name? I wanted to say Fleabo. That's it. Flibateur. I just butchered your name. My apologies. What headphones do you use? For DJing, I'm currently using the HDJ2000 Mark II by Pioneer. I used the Sennheiser HD25 for a long time. These are my Q701s by AKG. These are not DJ headphones. These are studio reference monitor headphones. Don't buy these for DJing. They're not good for DJing, but they're great for mixing music when I'm making music, and they're great for monitoring a stream like this. But yeah, that's what I use when I'm DJing. The Pioneers, and before that, the Sennheisers. Quentin says, what are the bass for producing? I don't know what that means. Beat down. I see you, man. Yep. Where in the chorus do you mix a song? Is it the title of the song or the end of the chorus? If I mix in a new song, it's at the start. So I have one song playing. When that song gets to the chorus where I want to do my mixing, my mix will start where the chorus on track 1 begins, depending on how long my intro part on the other song is. So with hip hop and R&B, a lot of times the chorus will be 8 bars. Not always, so you need to know your music. Some will have like a 4-bar chorus or 4-bar hook, so you want to be prepared for that. But a lot of times 8 bars. If I have a track that has 8 bars of beat at the beginning, then I'll start the mix right on the first beat of that chorus. So when the chorus is finished after 8 bars, the intro on the other track is also finished, and then that track will start playing. If I have a new song and that new song has a 4-bar intro, then I'll let the chorus play for 4 bars, and then I'll bring it in. So on the 5th bar, the other track comes in, blend them together for 4 bars. So it's about knowing your music, knowing how long a song's intro is, how long a song's chorus is. That will tell you. What I could also do is, if I have a 4-bar intro, I could bring it in. What I do a lot of times during my streams, I'll bring it in when the chorus begins. I'll let it play along for 4 bars, or maybe a little bit shorter. Then I'll cue it back to the beginning, give it a scratch, and then on that 5th bar, let it go again. And then it has its 4-bar of blend again. So it all depends on your music. Knowing your music, knowing how long stuff is. But that's where I normally begin. Shadow Hunter, what's going on? DJ Bling. I mean, I thought it was a funny question, but it's actually cool. Like, what kind of clothing and accessories do you wear when you perform? I like to go for comfy. That's me. Now, I understand for some DJs, you're playing in an environment where maybe there's a dress code, or at least a certain style is expected. So, for instance, if you do weddings, you're probably not supposed to show up in your sweatpants. For me, I will most definitely show up to my gigs what makes me feel comfortable. Now, that might be jeans and a nice T-shirt if I feel like it. It could also be a sweatsuit. It could be whatever I feel like wearing. I want to be comfortable. I'm not dressing up for people. I need to feel good to feel good and perform. Ernest says, I have a lot of clean versions due to I play at parties with a lot of kids. Yeah, indeed. Like, the kids thing is big. And when I was younger, I never thought of that, because I played at a party or two before where there were children. It wasn't like a children event, but there were plenty of children at the event. And I remember, like, when I was younger, I was playing like just the dirty versions the entire time. That was actually not appropriate, but I was young and dumb. Then you get older, you get kids, and then you realize, like, I wouldn't want my kids to hear that now. Doesn't make sense. And that made a change for me. And Natural Missy says, I joined the record pool for new music. Yep. Most definitely. I mean, I do the same. I check. I mean, my Spotify will let me know, like, hey, this is new. And then I make sure I check DJ City to see like, okay, what's new. And then I give it a listen. But that first listen is just to hear if it's something I might want to play. But then if I download it, I have to find the time to actually listen to the track a couple of times. That's the best thing. So I really kind of know it. DJ Wave says, is crates really necessary in Serato, or is it really whatever works for that DJ? Whatever works for that DJ. If you prefer just to have a collection of music in your DJ software, and you just prefer just to scroll through it, or you might sort it by key, sort it by BPM, sort it in whatever way you sort it by clicking on a column, do what works for you. I know for me that doesn't work, because if I have a large collection in one folder, it's going to be scroll city all day. And yeah, that doesn't really work for me. So I prefer to have it a little bit organized, but you need to do what works for you. Whatever floats your boat. What's your opinion on the heavy hits record pool? I haven't used it. No, can't tell you. And Queen Caesar is in the building as well. What's going on? That was 24 minutes ago. As usual, my catching up is not working. So for the new viewers, I hope you understand. I'm looking at questions. I answer the question. In the meantime, a lot of new questions and comments are added. So it will always take time for me to reach your comment. But I have to add this, and I'll try to catch up soon. In 35 minutes, we're going to raid Cleveland Terry. That's for my Twitch people, because Cleveland Terry has Qbert on today. We're going to watch Qbert, or I want to check Qbert. Sven has a problem. The problem with record box is that your information is saved in my tag, and only record box has access to it. Yes, so the thing for me is I'm going to use record box to tag the music according to that, how I want to tag it. Then I'm going to make playlists according to those tags, because I have a lot of playlists I want to make. Those playlists, I'm going to make sure I have those playlists. I'll turn those playlists into actual music folders on my computer. So then I can import them into whatever DJ software I want to use. Or I just use a conversion tool to get them into the other software. But I understand what you're talking about. That's the thing. Like, I want to start with Rekordbox because it just has way more options when it comes to tagging and rating. That will allow me to have a better search to find songs. And besides that, I'll also play with Rekordbox. So I can use it to prepare for CDJs. If I want to, I can DJ with it in DVS or with controllers as well. But I do plan to also just export it as like music folders. DJ Jabber was good. Blues, if the sample intro, the hip hop song. Wait, is that an answer to someone? I hope it is. If it's a question, I don't know what the question is. Leo Roomba is in the building. Salute. So Ryan says, do you have any MIDI controllers? Yes. Like even the Rain 12 behind me is a MIDI controller. I have the DDJ400. It's a MIDI controller. So those are DJ MIDI controllers. Machine right here, that's a MIDI controller. This is a MIDI keyboard, my M32, but that's a MIDI controller. I have a Tractor S4 Mark III. That's a MIDI controller. And what am I missing? I have the Tractor S2. That's a MIDI controller. I have my NS7 Mark I. That's a MIDI controller. So, yes, I have a lot of different ones. Sean Blue asked, do you do weddings? If not, why not? Not my cup of tea. I've done 3 weddings, and those were weddings that I accepted because the people who booked me knew me, and they just wanted me to do me. So those were people who actually used to come to my parties, so they wanted that vibe. That for me was perfect. With a normal wedding, it's going to be different styles of music, more stuff that comes with it. That's just not really my thing. I'm not really prepared for it either. Like, a lot of times that will mean I will have to bring all of my own equipment. You have to have a lot of communication with the people doing the booking. You probably have to sit with the couple, or at least have a conversation with the wedding planner. You probably get a list of songs, like at least the first song that they're going to dance to. You might have to announce the new couple, blah, blah, you name it. And I'm not that familiar with it, but it's like, I don't think that's for me, playing songs for the older people, the younger people. And I see DJs who do a great job of doing that and they enjoy doing it. I just don't think I'll enjoy doing that, except if they book me to just come DJ. So the weddings I didn't have to do all of the extra stuff. I could just come. The DJ set was there, or I brought like the DJ set. And when it was time for the after party, I could just be me and DJ the same way I DJ in a club. So that's it. So much respect to the mobile DJ / wedding DJ, because that takes a lot more than just playing in a club. Bomb Entertainment is here using Apple Music with Serato. Sometimes my Apple Music crates do not load. Ooh. Is there a fix you know of? Wow, that's a problem though. No, I don't. So hopefully someone in the chat knows, but no, I don't. Damn, that's tricky. Yordi, what up? Good site, apps where I can download old school hip hop tracks. Yeah, DJ pools have some, but they don't have like a lot. So I don't have a great answer for you here, unfortunately. And another option could be just to look for, which could be cheap nowadays because CDs sell for nothing. If you have the option to rip CDs, look online for some great like compilation CDs with like old school hip hop. Like sometimes you see those like 4, 5, 6 disc boxes that cover like a ton of old school hip hop, and they're selling them for super cheap. If you still have a computer with a drive so you can insert the CDs and rip them, then you can rip them high quality and have them. Beyond that, like I said, some DJ pools will have more than the other. A lot will not have a large collection of old school. So you could look into some of the DJ pools to see what they have in their archive. Justin, what's up? Can you speak about FX processing? Do you use an onboard effects or do you have a setup outside of your decks? When it comes to my effects, I use the effects that are on the mixer. So I don't have extras, everything, and I don't do a lot with effects, but I use mixers that have onboard effects and I will use those effects. That's my preferred method. Now with controllers or some other mixers, they do give you the option to just use the effects inside the DJ software. I've done that. I do it sometimes, but that's why I prefer my Pioneer mixers to have like just my onboard Pioneer effects, like the sound of those, like the way I can control them. But that's it for me because like I said, I'm super basic when it comes to effects. I don't use 4 channels. In this situation, is it worth it buying the DDJ400 over the DDJ400? For me, it still is because of the jog wheels. So that's personal. Like if the jog wheels aren't that important to you, then maybe an 800 is fine for you. But I just love the jog wheels on the 1000. Even though I don't use 4 channels, that alone would be the deal sealer for me personally. Okay, so the 6000M has a clicking mechanism. Okay, so then it's just easy to detach, right? So you can just take that off and just put a 7-inch vinyl on there, right? Corruption says, which pool do you say is your go-to for searching for music? Right now, I'm only on DJ City. I used to use DJ City and Beat Junkies, but I had to cut costs, and I already have a lot of music. So right now it's just DJ City, and I've been using BeatSource most of the time. So that's not a download option, but for my DJing, I'll be using BeatSource because they have so much music with BeatSource link, of course. If you're familiar with that, of course. Okay, so you just drill holes in a vinyl you want to sacrifice and screw them onto the clicky thing. Okay, Mojack's done that for years. Okay, so that's the thing that you could do. Bling says, is the NS7 III still relevant in 2021, sorry. I think so. I mean, it's still a great controller. It's an absolute beast. So for me, it still would be. Are the platters a different size on the 5000M and 6000M? I don't know. I don't know. When you're streaming live on Twitch, on your end, how are you looking at the chat? From your streaming computer or an iPad? iPad. And I'm going to show that. I'm going to record a video for that. I actually can't do that now. I'm using a clamp. I did an unboxing live like 2 weeks ago. And then I heard from the company. They didn't see the stream, but they told me like, hey, did the package arrive? Make sure you don't upload any content before June 1st. I was like, oops, already unboxed it in a live. But they had a clamp in there for the iPad. So I currently have a new setup that I'm using for my streaming where I have one big tripod and I have this, which is also that brand, by the way, but I have this arm connected to it. That's the mic. Then from that same tripod, I have my Elgato, an Elgato arm, and that has the M50 camera attached to it that takes a shot from above. But I also have a clamp with my iPad. So my iPad and the Restream chat app are there. So I can talk into the mic and look at the iPad. I found that that's the easiest thing now. That seems to work pretty well. And in this case right now, because I'm in front of my computer, I just have the Restream chat app on my computer screen. And that shows me all of the different ones. Mixmaster G, what up? Sorry. Do you use any booking apps? No. No, I don't. I've heard about them and I've never seen them in action or used them. Candy87 wants to know how to do tone play. I'll need to get into that in a separate video. What laptop do you suggest for Serato? I know MacBooks are king, but from which year should I start looking? Trying to save some dough. I mean, a lot of laptops will work just fine. Just if you look on the Serato website and you check out what their recommended specifications are, you'll see that you can find a lot of laptops that will fit that description. So it doesn't have to be the newest computer, that's for sure. Just make sure you get something with an SSD drive. So not a normal hard drive, but SSD for sure. A nice processor will be good. Enough RAM. If you're just DJing, then the video card, the GPU isn't even that important. If you're going to travel, you want to have a good build quality. I mean, a lot of MacBooks will work. A lot of other computers will work as well. What cameras do you use for Twitch? Well, for these streams, so the stream I'm doing right now, I'm just using my GoPro 9. When I go live for mixing, I have a 3-camera setup. I'm using this one for the total shot. I have a Canon M50 for the overhead, and I have a GoPro Hero 5 that I have set up close to my microphone, and sometimes I'll switch to that when I'm talking into the microphone. And I have all of those 3 connected to my video switcher. That's an ATA Mini Pro. That's this right here. That little device right there. All right, we got 23 minutes before we raid Cleveland Terry to go check out Qbert. Just mentioning that once again. So for all my people who are not on Twitch, Cleveland Terry, I believe that's Cleveland_Terry on Twitch. Glitch Crab, salute to you. List 2 was good. Big V in the building, of course. Lamumba says one of my M5Gs won't power on. It's in mint condition, and I don't gig with it. I was told it's probably a fuse. Never had that happen with any older Technics table I owned. Do you think it's a fuse? I'm not the technical expert when it comes to that, but that's crazy though. If they're mint condition and you don't gig with them, I mean, couldn't be anything crazy, I guess, but I don't know. But that's the thing. You probably still, I mean, or you have to be like technical that you decide to do it yourself, or you're gonna have to take them to the shop anyway. Okay, so Liz, I have to totally disagree with this one. You said it's not your job to monitor what other people's kids hear. That's the parents' job, so I don't have clean edits. Okay, so just imagine this scenario right here. I'm playing at my son's school. Like I said, this is years ago, by the way. He's in high school now, but those were kids ages 4 to 12. I'm playing at the school. That's the kids' environment. How are the parents supposed to control what they hear? That would mean that as soon as the parents hear what I'm playing, they would have to like cover their kids' ears. That doesn't make sense. If I'm playing at a regular club or it's a festival, just a regular festival, and someone brings their children to the festival, then I 100% agree with you. I'm not there to do a kids party. But if you're doing a kids party or you're playing at a school, so it's obviously for kids, then I can't agree with you that it's up to the parents to control that. No, I'm the DJ. I'm the one in control. I know exactly what type of event it is. So in that case, it's most definitely my my job, my responsibility. And some DJs will actually just play the dirty version because they're like, yeah, this is what I play. I just know that from a parent's perspective, because I am a parent, I was like, nah, that doesn't feel right. But I agree. If it's a normal gig, so not a kids event, that's a different story. Collector Ski Music, what's good? What's good? All is well here. Hope all is well there too. And Mo Berry is in the building, of course. What's a good size library for a DJ to have? I have a little over 100 songs. If you're talking about doing gigs, you could easily do a gig with 100 songs. You're not going to play 100 songs, most likely, depending on how long you play. But if you only have 100 songs and you do gigs more often, you're going to really run into being very repetitive, playing the same songs every time. If you're right now practicing at home, you're playing, you're fine. But I would suggest that you start building your collection. Have you ever used a DJ Pro with DVS at a gig using your iPhone? Mac Joseph, what up? Have I played with DJ? I've played with Algorithm DJ, but that's not DVS. I've used it with a controller at a gig. I've done a gig with my iPhone. Yes, I was using the. Oh, which one was I using again? I was using the Reloop. It's a Reloop controller. I don't have that anymore. Sorry, I forgot the name. But I was using a Reloop controller. I've done a gig with that with an iPhone. I've done a gig with that using an iPad. I've also done a couple of gigs with Algorithm DJ with the DDJ400. Shannon Lewis, what up? First time played Apache Gangsta Bitch at a friend's barbecue. Few kids were there, and the parents gave me a funny look. Clean and dirty version from that point on. Yeah, I mean, same thing there. Like for me, a barbecue, like a family event. Yeah, I would definitely take that into consideration. Again, if it's like a club or a festival, and some people have kids there, different story. If it's like a barbecue, which is obviously can also be like a family event, I'll take a look. Like if there's no kids there, different story. If I see the kids are there, I'm like, okay, I might switch it up, especially with a song like that. Liz says, I hate weddings. I played a few and no more. Every damn bride is a Karen on their reception day. So like, again, yep, that's the thing. I don't know if I'm ready for that. The weddings I didn't have to deal with that because those were people that knew me, knew what they wanted. That was cool. And for one of those weddings, the bride, and I knew the bride well, she had a couple of tracks that were like her favorite tracks. And there were like 1 or 2 tracks in there that I would normally not play. I'm like, cool, no worries, I'll play those songs. But I understand like there's such a thing as bridezilla, and I mean, I don't want to be in that situation with like flipping people. Rhyme support was good. Beat Junkies, yeah, Beat Junkies record pool has dope hip hop there indeed. DJ6, what up? Okay, so the SC 6000M is 8-inch. Okay. That might make the situation a little bit difficult, adding a 7-inch to it. Aren't there videos online? Haven't people done this already? Big Davis, salute. How's that too? Says, I have a turntable setup and a controller. How do you use the same laptop on both systems and not lose the crates I have set up? Usually end up losing crates when I plug into the other system. Okay, that's weird. So I assume you're talking about using a turntable setup DVS style to control your software and a controller to control your software. That should not have an influence on your DJ software. That's weird. Like, I mean, I can plug a million different devices into my computer now. That's not going to change my crates in Serato. Yeah, that's strange. Have you done a Prime 2 demo? No, I haven't even had a chance to try the Prime 2. So no, not yet. Ego 23, everything good over here. I appreciate that, Bomb Entertainment. I appreciate that 100%. Mulberry says, I'm still new to Beat Source. I don't see the genres for house or blues. Yeah, you were talking about that last time. Like, I don't understand how you haven't seen house. Blues, they don't have blues. I'm pretty sure they don't have blues. I mean, Beat Source is really for the open format DJ, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that they'll have like every single genre. They're really aiming at like the open format club DJ, and I just don't think blues is one of the genres that is part of that. So I think what you need to look for, so maybe you've looked for house and you couldn't find it. They call it dance, but it's right there. Like if I go to beatsource.com, just the main page at the top, it has playlists, and next to that, genres. If I click on genres, it opens a pool. I think, what did it do again? Let me go back to the home page because I already clicked on. So, okay, I'm on the home page. If I click on genres, you get like the pull down: African, dance, hip hop, Latin, pop, R&B, reggae, dancehall, rock. Dance is the house music. So Big Storm says, doing a wedding gig in a month's time. What's your number one tip? So again, I'm not a wedding DJ. Only thing I would have to imagine is communication. Make sure you are fully aware of what your job is there. What are you supposed to bring? What are you supposed to do? Are you expected to only play the music? Are you playing during the reception? Are you doing like after party? Are you announcing the new couple when they come in? All of that stuff. Do you have to MC? You need to make sure you know everything. You don't want to end up at a wedding thinking that there's probably going to be an MC there and they're expecting you to do everything. Like, these are things you really need to know. That's all I can think of. Like, I just know a wedding entails much more than a normal club gig. So I would make sure the communication, I would triple check everything. That's one tip. The other tip is be very on time. Be very on time. Just because I know from my limited experience with that, but just from overall just doing different type of gigs that are not club gigs, a lot of people who have less experience with DJs can get very nervous. So they want to make sure everything is going according to plan. So if the event is only like an X amount of time away and the DJ is not there yet, they might start to get stressed out. You don't want that to happen. So I know even for the gigs I did, the weddings I did, I made sure I was there like early. And I actually had like a contact, like a wedding planner contact. I made sure I sent out messages. So I'll let that wedding planner know, like, hey, what's going on? I'm heading that direction right now, like hours in advance. So that person now knows, like, okay, the DJ is on his way. That's going to take some stress out. Then I send a message a little bit later, like, all right, I'm 10 minutes out. Cool. Then they know exactly what's going on. That will take that off their mind because they're planning, they're taking care of 100,000 things. That's the only thing I can really think of. Communication, knowing what's expected of you, and being super professional. Let me already take a look here, see what's happening. All right. Serato is kind of a RAM hog, so make sure you have more than the 8 gigs of RAM they say to have. So is the 8 gigs of RAM, is that what they say is a minimum, or is that what they say is recommended? Because a lot of times you'll see that software will have like a minimum requirement, but then next to that or below that, they'll also have a recommended, and that recommended is always higher than the minimum. So I see that happen a lot of times. So I don't know what the case is when it comes to Serato. Do they mention that anywhere here? If I can see that real quick. Show me. Come on, Serato. But I mean, I've seen that with a lot of software. No, really? You're not showing that here? Okay, let me just look it up like this. Requirements. Okay. In the meantime, let me see. Do remixing require and making? Okay, Kodak. Let me go back. Make sure I read that right. Do remixing requires and making beats requires a piano and drum pad? So I guess when you say piano, you're talking about a MIDI keyboard, right? Something like this. So making beats, does it require like a MIDI keyboard and a drum pad? No, it doesn't. There's people that make music just with their mouse. So they'll use they'll use software like a DAW, like Logic or Cubase, or they'll use Ableton and only a mouse. And they'll draw in MIDI, like click, or with FL Studio, they'll click like, okay, I want the kick here, here, and here, and snare there and there. You could do that. Some people prefer to have hardware as well. So that's what I prefer. I prefer pads over mouse clicks. Uh-oh. I just lost the cam. Damn. I have to admit, I was on battery power. Y'all can still hear me. Give me a sec. I'll plug that cam back in. I should have a power source nearby. I thought I'd test the battery on the GoPro. It actually almost worked because we were going to raid Cleveland Terry in 8 minutes. But damn, it didn't make it. And it didn't give me a warning ahead of time. Let me plug something in real quick. I'm still here, though. Just need a power cable. Just need to have some power here. So we're going to plug this in real quick. Let me see if that GoPro can go straight back. Should go straight back on. See, that's the lovely thing of not using a microphone connected to the camera, because that would be my downfall. Because if you had a black screen and you couldn't hear me, you would figure that I would be out. Even though you can still see, like, you see the layout. Okay, let that camera go back on. It is starting up. There we go. There we go. See, that added some extra action right there. We're good. Yes. What? Why? Why am I not seeing you anymore? I just had a screen. What's going on? Let me check my OBS real quick. What's going on here? Because that's not fair. Y'all just saw. The GoPro is still on. I see that it's on. I see some smiles there. Y'all laughing at me. Okay, I got you. Okay, so why are you not showing up? Wow. Okay. That was me. I just moved the cable and I switched my A10 Mini Pro from camera 1 to 2. It is what it is. All right. 6 more minutes. I'm gonna open Twitch on the side so I can see when Cleveland Terry is on, so we know when to move in there to check out DJ Qbert. So I was checking Serato. That's what I was actually doing. I was looking at Serato to see what was going on there. But anyways, you can look that up yourself. Like a lot of times software will say like, hey, minimum this, but recommended to have some more RAM in there. Big V says the XMG is the best for DJing right now. I mean, I don't know if I can agree that it's the best, but when it comes to like Windows laptops, they have a laptop that is their DJ15, right? Where they actually went into really set the settings up for DJing specifically. And when I see the demo like of the guy having like 3 different DJ softwares and DAWs open and everything's working, that looks pretty good. DJ Chargé, do you play with CDJs? Sometimes. I actually have the 3000s here now. I'll be hopefully I'll be streaming with them. Let's see, in a week or 2 again. Love the 3000s. Those jog wheels are amazing. Okay, Beathound, thank you. Cleveland Terry is just no underscore, just one word indeed. RC3 was good. Having trouble loading VST plugins to Ableton. It scans the computer for the VST folder, but it says empty. Oh, I've had a similar thing with one of the DAWs. I don't remember which one it was. But after some rescanning, it did work, though. I still have to do that. I have to recheck with Ableton because I'm not really an Ableton user. Still have to experiment with that. All right, Lario's have fun at work. Oh, that's 20 minutes ago. He's probably long gone. We got SQ Squad in the building. See, Megawatt was good. And Stitch, appreciate that follow. The Rukon, I appreciate that follow as well. Kyle V, I appreciate that. Yusuf, what's going on? All right, I appreciate that as well. Much love. Ryan, I can't answer that. Like, how long does it take to get recognized as a DJ typically? There is no typically. That all depends on what the DJ puts out as well. How much the DJ is putting him or herself out there. Michael was good. Michael Power from Sydney, Australia. Big Storm, what's your experience with stream DJing? For instance, BeatLink, Tidal, and Rekordbox. Working great for me. I use BeatSource Link all the time. I've used Tidal. I've used SoundCloud. They all work great. I've used BeatSource Link in Rekordbox and mostly in Serato. Work great for me. Yeah. Now, of course, I'm streaming in the studio, so I have a good connection here. But I've done a couple of gigs before the pandemic using streaming software or music streaming service to play music as well, and it worked great. Let's see. So RC3, you really have no patience, bro. You really posted the same question. I think I've counted it 6 times now. That is way too much, bro. If someone is not answering your question, especially with a stream like this, then just give it a minute. Give it a minute. But I mean, I've answered it now. But I saw the first one, and I see that you posted it like 5 times after that. Styles Johnson has a question. So on BeatSource, can you download songs as many times as you want, like BPM Supreme? No. You cannot download songs. It's an online music store. You can buy music. That music you download and it's yours. But beyond that, you can use their BeatSource link service. You have a subscription, and then you can use all of their music in your DJ software. Now, if you have their top plan or 2 of their top plans, you do get a locker, what they call it, in some of the software. For instance, in Serato, you have that now, and I think Rekordbox had it too. And you can store 50, and with the top subscription, 100 tracks. You can store those on your computer. So even if the internet connection goes out, you can still play those songs, but only 50. So if you want other songs in there, you'll have to delete some of the songs, get some other songs in there. So it's not the same thing as just downloading music. So it's not a DJ pool in that sense. It's not like you can go there and just download all of their stuff. But I really enjoy using it the way it is. They have so much music. You have access to all of it. It's just not on your computer. You're just streaming it. All right, let me refresh here. See if Cleveland Terry is already starting. So once again, we're going to raid Cleveland Terry when he goes live. That should be, I think, any minute, with his special guest, DJ Qbert. Asur Dre was good. And Carl wants to buy a streaming PC. Setup is 2 turntables and a mic. So the setup doesn't matter, because that has nothing to do with the streaming PC. You could be using 2 turntables and a mic. You could be using a controller. You could be using an iPad. The streaming PC, like which one is good? I don't have names when it comes to streaming PCs. So if you want to buy a pre-built, so a computer that's already built, a lot of times the gaming computers will have the more powerful graphics cards, more powerful GPUs, which is something you want to look at, because that can take a lot of the work away from your processor. Like a powerful graphics card will help you for streaming. But I can't name any names. I built my own PC. But gaming PCs overall will have the better specifications for it. But like your setup doesn't matter, because it all depends on like streaming the audio well, let's go back for a sec. Like if you're streaming audio, then your graphics card isn't even important. If you're streaming video, then you want to have a better graphics card. But that has nothing to do with your DJ setup. You could be playing with anything. That's going to be your camera shooting you. You get the camera into your computer, so you have to have a capture device for your camera. And then use streaming software to stream. Let me just refresh here. Okay, I'm not seeing. Is he on yet? I don't see Cleveland Terry on yet. Should be now, I think. Or do I have the time? Am I mistaken with the time? No, right? LA should be 12 o'clock now, right? I know I need to learn how to spin on CDJs, although I absolutely dislike it. How can I overcome this? And is it mandatory? I mean, I want to say it isn't. I know a lot of clubs have CDJs as their standard setup. I also know I hardly play on them for my normal DJ gigs. when I do shows with Brainpower, a lot of times I'll use the CDJs if they're already there. And if we're doing like a 25, 30-minute set in a club and all those DJs are playing on CDJs, I'll use the CDJs, no problem. If I'm doing my normal DJ gigs, my bookings, I have turntables on my rider, on my technical rider, and I make sure in advance to check that they have the turntables. Most of the times I'll bring my own mixer because they'll have probably a 900 Nexus 2, which is cool, but I'll bring one of my scratch mixers and then I'll play with my turntable set. Now, will it help you to know how to play on CDJs? Of course, because maybe there's going to be a gig or an opportunity to play somewhere that you would actually like to play, but it's only going to work if you play on CDJs. You will want to know how to use them. But yes, if you're used to turntables, the feeling is totally different. I agree. I don't hate it, and especially like the 2000 Nexus 2, they feel great. 3000 feel even better. It's not a turntable. So mandatory, I wouldn't say that, but I think it's a plus if you know how to play on different equipment. It can help you out. Let's see. Okay, Liz, thank you. You got the thing up, okay? So the processor for Intel, i3, i5, i7, i9. Okay, so their memory, they say 4 gigs. And 5 gigs of free space. Well, I would definitely not go for a 4 gig setup. I mean, I would say 8 as a minimum. I mean, 16 is 16 would be a lot better just to be very safe. Yeah. So you say like if you have an older PC, 12 is better. I would always go for 16. Like, let's be honest, most of you will do a little bit more than just DJing on the laptop anyway. You just might want to have that extra RAM in there. Ashwin, appreciate that follow. Jers Mike in the building, salute to you. And Ashwin has a question. Can you recommend a good pair of PA speakers for DJ practice as well as small gigs? No, I have so little expertise when it comes to speakers, PA speakers. I absolutely have no idea. And I understand if you're going to play some small gigs and house parties, you don't want to use your monitor speakers for that. You want to have something that has a little more power. But no, I'm sorry. I absolutely have no idea. Okay, what's going on? Cleveland Terry still not live? You still not here? I thought it would be live by now. I'm not crazy, am I? I clearly remember seeing that. Let me check. I was talking to him yesterday. Cleveland Terry. Qbert. Wednesday. We have a legend on the way. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess he's still setting up or something. Yeah. Cleveland had like that was not good. Like last week, like he couldn't access his own Twitch for like 4 or 5 days. His stream was just live the entire time with just a black screen. And especially for someone like him who basically streams like 5-6 times a week, that's not good. Rob Swayze says maybe Cleveland Terry's camera died. Yeah, just like mine, right? He should be on. I just got the alert. That's what Big V says. So let me just refresh. Mulberry, okay, up in 1 minute. Yeah, I'll just keep an eye on it. I mean, it's not like Qbert is going to be in there in the first minute, so we're good we're good when it comes to that anyway. It's not like they start straight away. He has a countdown or something as well, right? So we're good. We'll hang around and we'll wait for Cleveland Terry and Qbert. Much respect to Cleveland Terry, to Terry getting like a lot of big names in there. That's so dope to see. Vlad, what is going on from Toronto? Do you follow soccer? Ajax champions again. I haven't followed soccer in a long time. Basketball has always been my sport. Like you grow up with football over here. So as a kid, I played it a lot. You play it with kids at school, on the street. We play it. but basketball was my thing. Played basketball for 10 years, and always played football when people were playing football as well. Followed it for a while. At first, I really couldn't get into following it just because I was used to basketball and watching basketball games. And going from a basketball game where the score could be like 100 to 100, and you're watching a football match, and after 90 minutes, no goals. You're like, what is this? But at a certain point, you do start to get into it. And I started to understand the suspense of that as well. If you're rooting for a team and there's still no goals with like a minute to go, you feel that stress. And of course, from Amsterdam, Ajax is my team in that respect. But like, I haven't paid attention to it in years. I can hardly name players on the team now. When I could, like, I was following that I'm talking about 1995, around that time. Used to go to the stadium, watch games as well. But I mean, it's basketball for me all day, 100%. So speaking about that, today's the play-in tournament game. You got the Lakers playing the Warriors for a play-in spot for the playoffs. That's crazy. I know I don't think I can watch that live here. I don't have Game Pass, so I can't watch it live. But I want to know what happens there. All right, let me refresh here one more time. No, not yet. Favorite or top female turntablists? Let me think. Because there's not that many that come to mind right now, name-wise. I mean, if we're talking about scratching, of course, you got DJ Shorty. You actually got DJ Shorty and DJ Shorty. You got one from the U.S., one from the U.K. They both are scratch specialists who teach scratching. Really like those. Damn it, what's her name? Because I've seen a couple of like dope female turntablists. I mean, I see plenty of dope female DJs, especially on Twitch, like DJing. So I see lists talking about DJ Lady Style. I've seen her play a bunch of times, even though I don't recall if I've seen her do a lot more than scratching, more turntablism than scratching. I'm not sure about that, but she's dope. She's dope for sure. From France. Damn it, what's the other one's name? My mind is drawing a blank right now. My mind is really drawing a blank. There's a big Canadian rapper overseas playing in the European League. Okay, I didn't know that. I do know there's a big American rapper basketballing in an African league right now. Salute to J. Cole. That's pretty crazy as well. Morris, what's going on? We're actually in I think the final minutes of our stream, because we're going to go and watch Cleveland Terry as soon as he goes live on Twitch, because he has Qbert today as a guest. So that's going to be something interesting. Yeah, I'm thinking other dope female turntablists. I know there's more, and I can't think of them right now. I can't get beyond the DJ Shorty. I've seen a couple just the other day. I don't know. All right, Morris, that's dope. That's dope. Is that your first controller? And are you just starting out? Yeah, we're in overtime, but that's all good. We'll wait around. AC1 Music, what's going on? Salute. All good over here. What's the other one's name? Is it Pearly? No. Or is it Pearly? Is Cleveland on now? Really? Why am I not seeing him? Oh, wait, I'm seeing him here. Got you. Okay. Cleveland Terry is on. He just started. So for all my people on Twitch, we're going to raid Cleveland Terry. Cleveland Terry has his daily talk show, and he has a special guest today. And the special guest is Qbert. So for all my people watching on Facebook and YouTube, you'll have to go to Twitch. The channel is Cleveland Terry. And yeah, that's going to be, that should be fun, interesting. If you're into turntablism, scratch DJs, Qbert is the god, of course. So we're going to see what he has to bring to the table, if they're going to have a nice little convo over there. I mean, there's no super rush. I'm guessing he's doing a little intro now. I'm going to pull him up just here so I can see, because he just started. He's just online now. So yeah, he's just. Why am I not hearing him? Okay, my Rodecaster Pro is taking my audio again.
And we'll get it back up. But yeah, it kind of sucked for all the YouTube people.
Oh, he's just.
It's coming. Just sit tight. It'll be here. It's just I gotta.
Yeah, I think he's talking about. He had Fat Man Scoop, and he wanted to add a replay to YouTube, and he got hit with the copyright issue, so he had to re-edit. So I think he's talking about that right now. Copyrights, man, we get hit from all angles with the copyrights every time. So yeah, I know Cleveland Terry's on right now. I have him here, so we'll rate him in time for Qbert. And okay, so Morris, you're a complete beginner, so don't worry. I have the view here. We'll do the raid in a sec. We'll be there in time. So cool, Morris, you're going on a nice journey there, man. Just starting out, you got your controller. I mean, for me, it's like crazy, like thinking back to just learning everything for the first time. That's such a long time ago, but yeah, you should have a lot of fun. DJ Jebber, I think I've seen Emmy as well. Yeah, Liz, like Facebook is a killer. I don't even try to do my mix streams on Facebook anymore. They and with YouTube, I can't risk it anymore either, because they started to talk about like policy violations. Then we're talking about a different lane than just like a copyright claim. So policy violation, I was like, okay, that means I'm done. And they actually, I was doing it on my old YouTube channel, and they blocked me for a week. They already told me, like, if it happens again, you might just lose your channel. And I don't even want to lose my old channel. Like, my old channel is also something that has a channel that has a couple of nice videos on there. I don't want to lose that either. But my DJ TLM TV channel, I mean, I cannot lose that channel. Let's be honest. That's something that must not, I can't jeopardize that. That would be stupid. So, okay, Cleveland is still talking. So for everyone on Twitch, we're going to do that soon now. Yeah, so I do Twitch, Mixcloud, and Twitter. I used to do Periscope. Periscope is gone now, but Periscope was basically Twitter. And Twitter Live does basically the same thing. So when I'm streaming, and I have all my video replays on Twitter stay on as well. So I think because it's too small, they don't have issues with it yet. And so you can actually watch my video replays for the mix streams on Twitter. For the last 3 weeks, I've been doing that now. So Queen Caesar, that's the same thing. Like, I was thinking about that too with the female turntablists. You see more scratching than like crazy beat juggling stuff. Also, when you see like people posting routines, you don't see a lot of it. I've seen some, but I see more scratching than other things. Let me check for a sec.
Spaghetti, and then after that, I was clearing out to my computer. I'm on a mission now. I'm on a mission. Bomb Entertainment says I'm a hoarder. Yeah, we all are. We all are. Ace One.
He's talking about spaghetti.
I will do a video on my cleaning up. Homemade spaghetti. Of course, homemade spaghetti.
So no Qbert yet. No worries.
Cleaning up and showing you how I use smart crates.
All right, I'm gonna go to the raid, and we're gonna raid. We're gonna jump in.
That's what we're doing now. Of course, why we're on the show today is
there we go. All right, for all my people on different channels, we're gonna see Cleveland Terry. My Twitch people, hop on board so we can get over there and join in on the fun there. If you want to watch him, you got to go to twitch.tv/Cleveland Terry. Nighthawk, I appreciate that follow. And I'll be back here with a mix on Monday and a new Q&A on Wednesday. So tune in for that. Only 20 people are coming along for the raid? What's going on, my Twitch people? Jump in. So we can go watch Cleveland Terry. All my people on the other platforms, salute to you and see you next time. And yeah, we're leaving right now. We're going to watch Cleveland Terry on Twitch. He has Qbert as a guest, so we're going to jump in there right now. All right? Let's go. Peace.